Good afternoon, Professor K.C.B. Rao, HOD of Department of ECE of University College of Engineering, JNTU Kakinada of Vijayanagaram campus, um, and all my participants. I welcome you all to the third session of the third day program on modern pedagogical techniques and effective teaching and learning. So this program is sponsored by All India Council for Technical Education, Teaching and Learning Academy, Atal Academy. So Professor KCB Rao is going to handle a, a topic, a session on teachers' standards, professionalism, and continuous professional development of teachers. So this is the topic which is the right topic which is required for most of the teaching community. So to introduce about Professor KCB Rao to the participants, I just would like to present his profile. So Professor K. Chandrabhushan Rao completed his BTech, BME and PhD in electronics and from Kerala University. So in the years 1992, 1995 and 2005 respectively. So he is having a rich experience of 28 years in teaching, research and administration at various engineering institutions. He worked as principal, dean, professor and HOD in reputed private institutions and also in the government institutions. So right now he is a professor and HOD of ECE department at JNTU College of Engineering, Vijayanagaram campus. So to his achievements, so he is a member of IEEE. Then he has published 2 Indian patents. He also have 2 copyrights to his credit. He has published a total of 67 research papers in reputed international journals and also in conference proceedings. He has guided 2 PhD scholars for their PhDs and currently he is guiding 7 scholars for their PhD. Then he has visited UK, Thailand and presented research papers at international conferences. He also chaired at numerous international as well as national conferences. Then he is a senior member of IEEE and a fellow of IETE and a life member of ISTE and also life member of SEMC India, member IAENG. He is also a research board member of Anna University, Vignan University, and Integral University. He is currently the chairman BOS Board of Studies of EC Electronics and Communication of University College of Engineering Vijayanagaram of JNTU Kakinada since 2016. So with this, and he is a regular evaluation committee member of National Board of Accreditation. He has visited number of colleges for accreditation purpose, and he has also guided as many as 13 institutions for their accreditation purpose. So with this small briefing, I would request Professor KCB Rao to handle the session. Sir, may I request, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir, to all?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So when I requested you to handle one of the sessions, you readily accepted. So thank you very much, sir, for your kind consent and handling the session at this point of time. Sir.
So thank you, sir. So thanks for your introduction. Nice introduction. And then actually, I love to share whatever little things I have learned over the period of last 30 years in engineering education. So I served in private colleges until 2012. So later I joined here, but I keep on continuing updating my knowledge and then my learnings from different sources. So just I want to share whenever opportunity comes like this. Thank you for giving me the opportunity through AICTE and through NRI Institute of Technology. So let me close my video.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, sir, kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Okay. Is it okay, sir? Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are all teachers, sir. So we don't want to define what is a teacher and what are the responsibilities. But in professional education, certainly certain things one should revise and one should follow, and then one should adopt, and one should learn, and one should unlearn. Learning and unlearning is a part of life for every teacher. What I feel, and what I have observed, what I have learned from great teachers, my gurus over the period of time. So with that, let me start my presentation. So normally any academic institution having stakeholders in terms of NBA nomenclature and NAAC nomenclature. So what are students? What about role of faculty? What are role of teaching profession? It's in this slide, just linking with human body, because we are humans first. We are human beings first. Maybe because of COVID, I think every one of us realized what actually required for a human body. Is it food? Is it clean food, or clean water, or washing hands, or washing nose, or washing face, or clean food, or clean clothes, or clean environment, or clean air? And what about lungs, and what about blood, what about clots, and all these things? Very important part of life for the last 1 year or so. Hence, I think this slide is very much relevant to understand and to follow towards education, towards professional education. So what about heart? Because the heart, faculty is the heart of the institution. Normally, students normally blood stream, because blood flows from head to toe. So accordingly, the teaching profession is not for bread and butter for the people, but it's a faith, and we are here by choice. We have the responsibility and a lot of challenges in daily life to deliver. So every one of us should identify these things, because national education policy, which is recently introduced by central government, and what the salient points, I think the earlier speakers perhaps they have already given hints, but as far as engineering education is concerned, so what about honors degree, what about internships, and what about industrial training, what about entrepreneurship, and what about other issues related to engineering education? All of us should look into that. So to make students ready, we should adopt the good practices. We should understand in what direction we have to learn, in what direction we have to teach in the classroom, in what direction we have to develop over the period of time, because the days are gone just preparing and then going to the board, and then whatever we have prepared, just putting it on the board, and then let students write, and then get the examination or get the degrees. Those days are gone. So the new techniques, new technologies, online learnings, exposure to the students to across the world's best universities like MIT. I think every one of you aware of OCW, MIT.edu, open courseware, MIT.edu. Those are having mobiles, those are listening seriously, please type it in Google and then please check it. Those are well aware of word OCW, MIT.edu. It's a, I think it's a, see, a whole professional education material is available over there. Hence, you can learn by those materials, because the best professors, across the world, they have prepared, and then accordingly you can able to learn by yourself without anybody's help. So starting from our Sanskrit roots, amantram nasti moolam aushadam, ayogyam purusho nasti yojaka statra durlabha, suchihi vachasvi vachasvi smritiman tejasvi kritiman, and Utsahi, Jignasi, Namrataha. These are all the below one is qualities of good teacher. Suchihi, we have to talk with good words. Vachasvi, have a smile on your face. Vachasvi, your speaking should be clear. Smrutiman, you have to remember. Tejashvi, you should have brightness in your mind and face. Krutiman, you have to be ready to serve the students. Namrataha, be as polite as possible in front of colleagues, in front of others, in front of elders, maybe with students as well. Utsahi, we have to be active towards learning new things. Jignasi should have the attitude towards learning new things, towards adopting for new environments. So, hence, with all 9 qualities of teacher, how many of them we are following daily? So please think by yourself, right? If all 9 we have, certainly we are obviously great teacher. So no need of any introduction about these great, I think greatest people ever our nation produced. None of any introduction, but I want to tell just a few things. Please read biographies of these three great people. Every teacher should read. I have read it. That's the reason I'm talking. So please read these biographies. This will help immensely in our classroom teaching, in our daily life, and then maybe with our family life, professional life, personal life as well. And whatever character we are talking, whatever attitude we are talking, whatever things we are talking, listening from the great people, so already they have practiced in their life, in their lifetime. They have written, and they are available. The resources are available for us. So why don't we read it? Why don't we practice it? And why don't we at least go to the next level? So similarly, the other great people, so maybe two great women, may not related to our country, but whole world adore them, because the Nobel Prize, India has given Nobel Prize to Mother Teresa. So hence we have to learn why they got Nobel Prize, and what they said and what they have done over the period of time. So normally, good practices, punctuality, so our dressing and a smile, then eye contact in the classroom. Unfortunately, for the last 1 year, because of online teaching, including today's lecture, I don't know how many people really listening and how many people really understanding, how many people really would like to practice. Similarly, we are teachers, and then while teaching online classes, we are facing a lot of difficulty in getting attention of the student. That's the reason classroom teaching always preferred, because of eye contact. Then the lecture, how we are preparing the lectures, what about our sessions? Are we interacting? That's what is said to be active learning, interactive learning. Then are we encouraging students or not? Are we getting feedback or not? Are we asking questions or not? And are we encouraging for their trivial questions, even though they're immature? Are we encouraging them or not? So we have to understand students personally through mentoring or through counseling. So we should make our objectives clear in every class, and should have lesson plan and every 50 minutes class or 1 hour class or whatever. And we should see that students should participate actively during the delivery of 40 minutes or 30 minutes or 50 minutes. And then you have to proceed with comfortable pace, because it's a combination of 60 students in a classroom, 70 students in a classroom, combination of different ranks and then different attitudes. So we have to be patient enough to give clarity towards all the students. Then we have to be clear what we speak. We have to be loud, because a 70-member classroom, the last bench students also should listen your voice. So we have to give real-time examples, and then we have to give essential points adequately, or should be given to the students they can able to note down. And biographical things, inspirational notes, if you add in your lecture, the students certainly their attention will be good, and accordingly they can able to follow. So the great Abdul Kalam ji, in his different lectures, he told, love teaching. If you are a teacher, give full commitment, because it's a mission of teaching. It's not for just bread and butter, and you have to lead by example as a role model, and we have to treat all students equally without any impartiality, right? Then we have to inspire with noble thoughts and actions. How can we do that unless we know the noble thoughts, unless we hear about noble thoughts? The only way is reading biographies of great people. That's the reason I have told, I have shown earlier who are the great role models available. Then we have to celebrate the success of students. If the students got placement, and we have to be successful. If your mentoring student got success, you have to celebrate. Then what happens? No, you get a lot of satisfaction. You cannot buy that. So I had some of those experiences with that confidence, with that background I'm talking. Right. So altogether, 10 things I have listed out here. Maybe beyond can also available, but to my knowledge, what I have practiced over the period of time at different instants of my career as assistant professor, as associate professor, as a professor, as a head, as a dean, as a principal, and again here HOD for the last 5 years. So transition stage, and then orientation courses and development courses and laboratory exercises, effective learning resources, functional guidances, personal counseling. And personal counseling again, you have to be cautious about counseling, mentoring, then industry institute interaction, then academic administration, then promotional activities. So these are all the roles and responsibilities as well for every teacher, as far as professional education is concerned. So which covers criteria 2 of NBA SAR, criteria 2 of NAAC SSR. Those are preparing for NBA, those are preparing for NAAC, those are already involved in it. I think they can able to understand what I'm speaking. SSR, self-study report of NAAC, criteria 2, self-assessment report of NBA, program-wise, teaching learning processes. So to fill effectively, every teacher of your department, every teacher of your college should follow these roles and responsibilities effectively. That is the critical process. Evaluators will evaluate. You cannot create in 1 day or 1 month or 2 months. It's a process, continuous process. 3 years data for NBA, 5 years data for NAAC. You have to upload, you have to scan, you have to submit with proofs. You cannot create over the period of time. Just within 1 month, 2 months. Hence, how to do that? So for that reason, with that expertise, with that experience, accordingly, I'm speaking. Right. So what is the transition stage? That is, students are coming to you after +2. As you know, from Chaitanya, Narayana, and all corporate sectors, just they are by hearting and then getting MCET ranks, and then they're in front of you. So they don't know what is collaborative learning. They don't know how to use library. They don't know how to use laboratories. They don't know how to choose learning resources. They have suppressed the inquisitive means questioning attitude, and only complete memory based rote learning only they know. So they're stuffing brain, and then they're coming over to you. So what is your responsibility now? What is your responsibility? That is the present status I'm talking. This is a reality. We're also teaching for the same children at first year, at second year. It is taking 2 years time for them to exist. So what is to be done? So we have to teach them. We have to facilitate them. What is required for the coming 4 years, coming 3 years, coming 2 years, coming 6 years, like that. We have to train them. We have to train their mind. We have to give that space to them. Every teacher role, that is individually HOD cannot do, principal cannot do, every teacher should do. So that means teachers should adopt. Before that, teachers should know what is to be done. Again, the story, teacher training and all, but yes, every teacher in a classroom. So you have to plan your presentation, organize it, analyze the details available, and then you have to prepare well. At least 2 hours preparation is required for a single classroom. So every week, at least if you have 4 hours, at least 8 hours preparation is required in a given week. Then supporting materials, a lot of materials are available, MOOCs, Coursera, NPTEL, a lot of things are available. So accordingly, you can develop ideas, and then we can animations, and then visual aids, and then if you present it accordingly, certainly students will enjoy. Students will involve, students will ask. But the only thing is, we have to prepare more. That is most important. Then we should take pride and pleasure in the profession, first of all, and we should move from teaching mode to facilitating learning mode because of present trends. Because NBA that demands for student-centric learning. It's not teacher-centric learning. We have studied. I'm at the age of 50 years. I'm talking. My teachers, whatever they taught me, that is final. I cannot ask any questions. There is no scope for asking questions to them. But present day scenario is different. With just the smartphone, they can have 1,000 questions for 1 hour class, whatever you teach. So we have to answer them. If we don't answer, you are not a teacher. Hence, we have to be aware of those areas, and we have to be a facilitator to the student. How? So we have to involve learning process, and we have to give group assignments for problem solving, designing and construction, etc. And we have to develop skills for presentations as an individual, as a group. And now get a doubt, what about group assignments, sir? Just whatever I have done, let me be clear. We have prescribed textbooks and reference textbooks for every course. Course means subject I'm talking. So prescribed textbooks 2 and reference textbooks 2 assume the situation. There are 4 textbooks for every course, whatever teacher is teaching. So 4 textbooks every teacher is reading, every teacher is practicing. May be tough. At least 1 textbook every teacher certainly will read, will prepare. My suggestion would be engineering education, out of 35-40 subjects, I'm very sure 25 to 30 subjects come mostly problematic subjects. So I request all teachers to please prepare tutorial sheets for all 4 textbooks, whatever is prescribed or reference textbooks available for a given course. Why? Because at least 2 problems, 3 problems from all textbooks unit wise. Don't know theory questions, please. Only problems. Why? Because if you give problems to as an assignment to the student, what will happen as a group wise? So maybe 3 problems for 5 people, different roll numbers. Another 3 problems for another 5 people. Like that is split into maybe 10 sheets or so, 30 problems altogether. What happens? Those 5 students can sit together. They can copy. Let them copy. What will happen? At least solution will come. But you have to prepare solutions. That's the only thing. So you can ask them to do it on the board whenever tutorial hour is there. What happens? The same problem can be listened by all 70 people. Similarly, these 5 people, 5 problems, and then another 5 people, another 5 problems, like that, all 30 problems can be solved just within a week or 2 or 3 weeks. What happens? They got a lot of confidence in every unit, every subject, every chapter, and there itself, your outcome-based education, you can have Bloom's taxonomy, you can have course outcomes, you can have program outcomes, you can have graduate attributes, you can have program educational objectives, whatever earlier speakers have told. All of them can be met because these are problem-solving things. You can map accordingly. Accordingly, your attainment levels will be good, your assessment levels will be good, your achievement levels will be good over the period of time. It is the simplest solution I'm giving you. If you are smart enough, please adopt. So wherever I go, I used to tell this same thing for giving MBA guidance. Some are following, some are not. But I'm giving, even though you're not asking, I'm giving because I have mentioned here is assignment. Because assignment is a very, very powerful tool by which you can able to finish teaching learning processes, almost every component in a successful way. So we have to motivate and we have to give confidence to every student, and we have to inquiry with every student whether they have zeal to learn or not. If not, you have to awaken the spirit, and a teacher should be involved in research and development, just at least by appearing conferences and then appearing workshops and then publishing some papers. Not I'm talking about international, I mean IEEE journal or so, at least some UGC journal, good one, not paid. It's not paid one. Don't go for paid journals. It's my sincere suggestion and request. Nobody will consider that. It's possible. Small RPS, research promotion schemes through AICTE, maybe small projects for UGC, small projects for DST, small projects for NRB, National Naval Research Board, and a small projects for ISRO, because a lot of funding is available. So just apply first, second, third, fourth. You don't get it, fine. Fifth time, I'm sure you'll get it once you keep on trying that. So inspiring based on the potential, and then you have to lead by example for students. And again, I'm saying earlier, you have to take pride. You have to celebrate the success of the students. So what are the orientation courses? What are the prerequisites available? What are the course you are teaching in the present semester? For which, what are the requirements? And then what are the objectives of that? And what are the industry associated about your course? Say, for example, I'm EC background. I am teaching radar systems over the period of time, and then what are the applications available in industry? Radars, where radars are being used? They are used in satellites. Where the satellites are being manufactured? In ISRO. What ISRO is doing? I can connect Chandrayaan or Gaganyaan or whatever, PSLV, GSLV. All those things I can speak, and I can download some videos and I can show in the classroom so that everybody can able to understand what is the linking between industry versus what they are learning in the classroom. Just for example sake, I'm talking. Similarly, for every engineering subject, certainly you can able to link up the respective real-time examples, and then accordingly you can inspire and instill confidence, and then you can increase the zeal of learning, and they can increase the zeal questioning, etc. Then, so how to prepare a course file, and then there's a big list we are normally will be given. But in brief, lesson plan, academic calendar, syllabus, reference books, prescribed books, question papers, university question papers, that is open question papers, in the sense whatever, not only our university, other universities also. Typical assignments is what I already mentioned. Tutorial materials are also I have mentioned. So if you combine these things, the course file will be effective, instead of just don't prepare it for the sake of NBA or NAC. It is for you. You are the teacher, you are using it, you are telling it over the period of time. So it's for you, it's your resource. So put that effort from your heart. Right. So laboratory experiments, laboratory is the best place for students to learn. And what are the manuals available? What are the pilot studies available? Are you doing pilot studies? Means actual readings, perfect readings, whatever readings are given in the manual, are they getting or not? Are you encouraging to do the beyond the syllabus or not? So are you maintaining the laboratory manuals and laboratory equipment and laboratory things as a lab in charge? Is it perfectly following or not? What are the budgets required? Operating budgets in the sense, last year what is the budget, present year what is the budget, next year what is the budget. So every teacher should know what are the requirements, because it's a continuous process for investment. So what about learning resources? Normally in the any college institution, digital library, then articles, magazines, journals, textbooks, reference books, general reading books, and of course these days online resources are also available. That's what I said: OCW, MI.edu, IUCE, NITTR, VLab. That's VLab, virtual lab, vlab.co.in, vlab.co.in. Actually, for first year's physics lab in 2017, 16 batch, It is there in JNTU Kakinada, under JNTU Kakinada. But I don't know how many people are aware of that. But vLab.co.in is very, very effective tool. MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource and Development from central government, from IIT Delhi, they have started monitoring that, and then almost all laboratory courses you can able to look into that. All platforms are available. The only thing is, it's not as per the JNTU syllabus or Andhra University syllabus or OU syllabus, but it is with generalized ones, and then you have to look into those things, and then you can ask students to do by themselves, because they can do from their laptop, they can do by their mobile as well. And for me as a teacher, I'm involved in basic labs of ECE. Those who are interested, you can write down Droid Tesla. I didn't write it here. Droid, D-R-O-I-D, Droid Tesla, T-E-S-L-A. Droid Tesla is one of a mobile app. Droid Tesla is one of the mobile app available, so that students can do experiments, of course, virtual experiments with mobile. So what I'm doing in the laboratory is they can do with mobile the circuit connections and waveforms and all with mobile app, and then they come here to the lab individually with a breadboard. They can verify in the lab. What happens? Different students get different readings. The records they cannot copy. For NBA purpose, we are encouraging them for innovative learning. For record purpose, we are encouraging them for self-learning. For record purpose, we are encouraging them for beyond curriculum as well. So all these benefits. This is another way to support our NBA SAR or NAC SSR. So hope and wish at least some of you can able to do it. Mobile app is available for electrical experiments, EC experiments, to my knowledge. For mechanical, civil, I have no idea. If at all anything available, please make use of it, because students are enjoying it. Personal experience, students are enjoying that because they are saving a lot of time in writing records, and more importantly, they write with enthusiasm, because whatever they learned, whatever they have experimented, they are writing by themselves. So corrections also will be easy, and then people are very comfortable in the laboratory as well. So this is one way of motivation and one way of direction. Then how can we give functional guidance for projects, for paper presentations, for employability things, for higher education, for entrepreneurship, and for public sectors like Group 1, Group 2, and then maybe IAS, IPS, etc. See, these are all the different revenues available. As a mentor, as a teacher, as a counselor, are you guiding them? Are you guiding them? Are you addressing those issues? Because we don't know what is there in their mind. We cannot force all the people for placements. We cannot force all the people for technical paper presentations. We cannot force all the people for higher education. So at least we should speak them, at least in first year, maybe second year, not a third year, final year. We have to, at early ages, we have to ask them, we have to keep on track, then accordingly we can guide them. That's what the best institutions are doing. Then counseling and guidance. So who are the people actually require counseling? Who are the people actually require guidance? Because all people don't need, because some people, they can guide by themselves, they can guide by their elders, they can guide by their parents, but only some people only look at the teachers. So what is our role and responsibility in that? So accordingly, we have to look into their information and support, and then accordingly the feedback, and accordingly the progress. All these things we can able to make it happen during our guidance and counseling. So normally counselor should be in a position to motivate, should be in a position to teach requisite skills, and should provide guidance, and then the counselor should help to achieve the goals. Normally these are all the characteristics of counselor. But counseling should happen based on non-judgmental. We cannot judge the student. He is good, he is not good, he is present, he is not coming to the college. These kind of statements counselor should not give, and should be always, whenever you support, then people will come to you. Whenever you encourage them, then only they can come to you. Whenever you can give confidence, then only you can able to come. And you have to keep confidentiality of the information as again, whatever information student is telling to you, if you speak in front of others, that student may get hurt, and then he or she may not come to you again. And we have to be empathetic in the sense we have to be more generous, and then we have to create unconditional environment. So normally what we speak, why you're not coming to the college? If you don't come, don't meet me. That kind of conditions if you put, nobody will come to us. We should be in a position to understand why he or she not coming. He or she should speak it out. So that kind of environment we have to create. This is a big process actually. So it takes lot of character, patience, time. Yes. So in a nutshell, these are the 10 prerequisites to become a counselor. So hope and wish you can able to relate yourself. Intense desire to help, we should have that. Unconditional love, we should have that. We should listen more. Unfortunately, for every teacher, because always we speak no. When our teacher student comes, we keep on speaking with him or her, and he will become listener. He will become teacher again, like a preaching. Next time he or she will not come. You are doing the same thing in the classroom. You are doing the same thing in your room as well. So listen more. That means you give scope to the student to let him come out, let her come out. What are their issues? Unless you give space and time, they cannot come out. Then genuineness. Whatever help or love you are extending, the students should feel that it is genuine, it is positive, and you are open with them, and your analysis should be stable. And here the students should feel that as I am talking with a faculty having the holistic personality, that kind of feeling you should create to every student. Those who counsel, then automatically students will listen to you thereafter. It's a big I mean the big task actually big task. But very few people only be successful. If you ask, I mean, in your department, in your college, very few people only be successful. And if you observe, students will approach them wherever they are. Without they call them, students will go and meet those teachers. So it is a regular practice. Several times I have observed, and several times I enjoyed as well, because students are coming to me. The students are waiting for me to call me, to meet me, to talk with me, and then all these things I enjoyed. And I have observed the same thing, my colleagues also in a similar manner. So you can also observe, and then you can learn from your colleagues, those who have those kind of characteristics. So by seeing this figure, what you understand, and how can you relate whether elephant is a good counselor, whether elephant is having all characteristics. So please look into that.
Yes, I think so.
Yes. Okay. Right. So next one, industry institute interaction. How best we can interact with industry, with by attending workshop, by attending conference, by attending seminar. So by having industrial visit, industrial training, and then we can have MOUs. So we can have research and consultancy with industry. We can have professional bodies like IEEE, like IET, like American Society of Mechanical Engineering, American Society of Civil Engineering for mechanical and civil. So these are all the repeated professional body activities as prescribed by an NBA, as prescribed by NAC. So encouraging students with the internships during summer breaks, because internship is mandatory in national education policy. So accordingly, all teachers should have that kind of exposure in order to guide students, in order to guide themselves. So academic administration is every teacher in professional education, at least 2 or 3 or 4 responsibilities in every department, and as well as at college level. So what about timetables? What about alumni? What about placement and training? And what about guest lectures? What about professional body activities? What about exam cell? What about maintenance? What about class in charges? And many more. Some of them are not listed here, but many more are also there. So why all these things were there? Actually, because we are in the college, we are in the department to serve the students. How best we can serve? These are all the wings. These are all the wings for academic administration, for HOD, as well as principal, as well as vice principal, and accordingly we have to make it happen. So because it is part and parcel of professional education. Then the design and development of tools, if at all, we have to upload in the website, college website. Otherwise, LMS, learning management systems, are available. And collaborative learning, earlier also I spoke, because students should work together either for assignment or for mini project or industrial training or industrial visit or major project. So the skill development during English communication labs or maybe project seminars or viva overseas, etc. Then industry report preparation, 2 or 3 people together, they can prepare industry reports. Web presentations, we have to encourage for two to three students, maybe for every BTech project. Let them prepare a paper. Put it as a rule, put it as a process. Encourage them, guide them, because 3-4 months time is there in every final year, second semester, so that at least some outcome may come. Accordingly, you can encourage students in order to make those things possible. So maybe for the last half an hour or so, I keep on asking about different things, different roles and responsibilities of a teacher. So you can read by yourself here, no need of any explanation. So whatever saying about what about self-assessment, appreciation, what about punctuality, what about frank and fairness, what about feedback, what about supplementing, what about resources available in the library, available in the department library, main library, then class. Those things are you behaving role the student or not? All the practice, everybody about it, but how following? That is the question to be asked before the classroom, after coming from the classroom. Every day, we do it to improve. Right. Is the great poet and then great human being, where the mind is without fear and where the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where words are not moments and romance, where the vision at lost the dread and of all the so this uh, and I love it actually. Love it from my childhood. My English first before I said actually. So I connected and then understanding those words. So I'm then I don't know of those things, but I get the meaning in different English. Right? So first, I on saying this thing as a big teacher. So this things have a lot of meaning. I mean, giving a lot of vision and a lot of mission towards myself. So that's the reason I'm showing to you. So This is the first presentation today. Next one will follow. Can unmute maybe so far. Few minutes. Okay, I'll continue with the presentation.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm continuing to this. Just actually ask any queries, and nobody is asking any query. So
Yes, sir.
so I'm starting second presentation, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. This it is about to start, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, just give me 2 minutes time, and I think it was stuck in between. Give me access for share screening, sir.
Sir, hello, sir.
Okay. Now I got, sir. Now I got
I'll
it.
share
Yes.
present, sir, once again.
I could Google, I could do it, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm in presentation mode.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sir. Yeah.
Is it visible, sir?
Sir, it is visible, sir.
I'm entering in PTM mode, sir.
Sir, it is visible, sir. Sir, it is visible, sir. Yeah, yeah. Please continue, sir. But your voice is not audible, sir. Your voice is not audible, sir. Sir, I'll Yeah, your voice is not audible, sir. No, no, people have heard. Right now, your voice is not audible. It is not audible, sir. No, sir, no, sir. Not audible, sir. I'll, yeah. Sir, I'll make you out of the this thing session and kindly rejoin, sir. Kindly rejoin, sir. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Sir, your screen is visible. Can you speak?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Am I audible?
You're audible.
So all participants, please excuse me for the delay because of network issue. It's not in my hands. Is it okay, sir, now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So let me continue. In the earlier presentation, I have given the details of qualities of good teacher and the characteristics of poor teacher and other things as well. So is it visible, sir?
It's visible, sir.
Is it visible, sir? Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Please go ahead, sir.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Right.
Okay.
So, what are the good teaching practices, and is it shifting, sir? Screen is shifting? No.
Yes, sir. It is moving, sir.
It is moving.
Yes, sir.
So, what are the slides are you are seeing? The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, and the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Right, sir. I'll move like this. Okay. Right. So the teaching is the oldest and noblest profession, as we all know, and we have a lot of responsibility on our shoulders because we have to build the society. We are society builders. Hence, teaching requires improvisations, spontaneity, handling different students. Different students means different student mindsets, and we have to have different styles, different pace, different rhythm, different appropriateness, different ways, which are complex in nature, actually, to combine all these things at one go. So one way to teach and one way to learn. Every teacher should do that. So it depends on the character of the teacher. It depends on the class of the size, 60 or 70 or 100. And of course, the subject. Subject means your course, which course you are dealing. So by combining these things, these are all the options available. What about passive teaching? What about active teaching? Whether it's a learner controlled or teacher controlled, because this is where the essence of knowledge, skill, attitude. These are the three things actually, three pivotal points given in NBA, given in NAC, and the whole world is moving, discussing about those things. So accordingly, the presentation will be going forward because of the trends, the standards of the teacher, the futuristic standards of the teacher in the professional education, and how it would be, how we would be rather. So these are all the issues. Hence,
हाँ अच्छा
sir, can I continue?
Sir, please continue, sir. I'll unmute.
अच्छा
Some crosstalk is there.
Yes, sir. I'm trying, sir. I'm checking.
Right. Okay. Right, sir. So, what about the passive learning? Normally, rote learning, already mentioned. What is happening in corporate education these days? What about the personal reading is missing, and pencil and paper exercises missing. The case studies are missing, and experiential simulations learnings are missing. So, from passive to active, if you want to convert, these are all the things we have to practice. Case studies, brief learning practices, experiential exercises, and then group discussions, self-evaluation, and role plays. skill practices, real life experiences, supplemental instructions. These are all the things required at every stage of the classroom in converting the passive mode of learning to active mode of learning. Hence, we have to shift from teacher-centric to learner-centric. What is said to be student-centric. Hence, what kind of behavioral modeling, what kind of feedback, what kind of practice, and we have to follow knowledge. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay, right. Okay, right. So knowledge, projection, rapport. These are the three dimensions with which we can able to exercise our processes, procedures, and then presentations. So to start with, say x-axis knowledge, y-axis rapport, and the projection 2 is intersection. So look at that, because you have to remember this 1, 2, 3 numbers of the participants. Please work it out accordingly, because I focus on these 3 points continuously. So each of the above factors necessary but not sufficient, but each is decisive and which will lead to different teaching styles. So the first dimension, where very much required for every teacher, because knowledge is must. It's a basic building block, where the capacity of the teacher to analyze, to synthesize, to design, to apply all the Bloom's taxonomy levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all levels will come here, without which we cannot able to. So the enough substance should be there, and then knowledge and projection should go hand in hand to create intellectual excitement. 1 and 2 should go hand in hand for intellectual excitement, that is zeal, inquisitiveness, and then all those things will come. So the second dimension, that is involves clarity, and teachers should use concrete examples wherever is possible. So the teachers should encourage students and should stimulate the students. We should give enthusiasm to the students, and accordingly the rapport will develop. Okay, so teaching not merely simulation of emotions, but intellectual participation of the process of discovery. Eye contact is very, very important, as I mentioned earlier. Hence, the third dimension, rapport, where the teacher will enjoy sharing and is concerned with the students as an individuals. An excellent teacher will promote positive emotions, avoids the negative emotions, and the emotion effect will boost the confidence of the student, will motivate the students normally. So students will prefer smaller classes with personal relationship with teacher. Large classes normally inbreeds difficult to contain, difficult to maintain, and then we cannot observe person to person basis. So look at this diagram. Can you able to identify where you are, what you are? Is it at 100 or is it 120? Are you 123? Are you 003? What is 103? What is 023? What is 020? Look at that red, look at that blue, light blue. So where you are, how you are, how you can be part of this process. So the two small cubes shown there, extreme corners of the large cube are noteworthy. That's what I said, red and blue. So 25% quarter cube near the origin contains the pseudo teachers who should be eliminated at the qualifying round itself by the selection committee normally, and scrupulously kept out of the bounds of any academic because to control the controlling measures. 75 to 100% of the quarter cube contains the teachers who deserve place in the portrait of the great teachers, They are the maestros who never accept mediocrity. Hence, 25 to 50% annual group also ran, and who can be assigned supported roles. Majority of the academicians is in the 50 to 75%. It's like us in annual group, and then considers adequate compartment. So research shows that students attach more importance to the knowledge and projection than to report. So they give more weight to the base of the cube. The students prefer approachable, amiable teachers only if the teacher is clear and sound in knowledge. This is very important conclusive remarks based on the research. So most teachers have strong needs of achievement and success. They strive to excel and move forward and upward from the lower regions to the upper regions of the cube. So 100, where rich in knowledge, he or she believes that personal reactions of the students is irrelevant and key to the chest of knowledge, but won't open the chest. So the projection and the report, they are poor. So look at this 100. They have knowledge, but they have poor rapport with students. No student will approach them. That is the problem. 020, where is it? 020. Look at the center. So without any knowledge, but students easily spot the shallowness. Without knowledge, students will easily identify in the classroom. So 003, no knowledge, no projection, but having very good rapport with students. We can find out those kind of teachers nearby. So 120, have knowledge, have communication skills, absolutely no rapport, and then students at bay sometimes with snub. So amiable and all the knowledge, no capacity for projection, and let go kind of inhibitions, and then accordingly the stage will come where the defects are also will be dominating. So whether the discussions are good or not, small groups with research, large audience, that 103, that is 103 is look at that, look at the position nearer to that blue cube. So where 0 to 3, where projection and they can have skills of repertoire and then totally halo. And this is how we can see 1, 2, 3 and 0, 2, 3 and 0, 0 and 100. And the great teachers normally having conversational quality, confidence, competence, and then make sure that the voice, gesture, movement, etc. Will reach to the students. And the strong intentions, and they can transfer information, they can help the learners, and they can construct their understanding, and they can help for their future as well. And great teachers, good teachers do not talk as much as their less effective colleagues do. This is because good teachers involved in the learners asking questions, framing cases to solve, forming small groups for discussion, asking for the views for learners, pausing to allow students to think. Look at this. These are the qualities we all should adopt, practice in the classroom. Instead of we teach continuously, let us give time, let us give space, let us give scope for the students to think, to ask questions. Accordingly, they can involve. So when they don't talk, good teachers use words efficiently. They make concepts, they make principles, and then accordingly, the skill teachers, they reflect the knowledge, and they reflect their skill, they reflect their attitude in the classroom. So perhaps the great teachers, more important for showing enthusiasm in the classroom and creating interest in the teaching and creating interest in the classroom, creating discipline towards their course which they taught in the classroom on a daily basis. So well organized and well presented, well informing, and then the good discipline according to the practice, according to the life skills, according to lifelong learning as well will be given by the great teachers only. So good teachers always thinking about how to improve, how to guide students to learn? How can I give students more control over their learning? How can I encourage them? How can I collaborate them? How can I provide timely and effective feedback? How can I accommodate them? How can I give sophistication towards their life? How can I give motivation? How can I give confidence? All these questions we have to ask on a daily basis. But a mediocre teacher normally focus on transferring information, and the primary motivation to have control of this is always go, sit, stand, come, like those kind of words. Normally mediocre teachers only will use on students. Obviously they focus on their grades, and then they use tool to cut their grade maybe in examination. So here the only reason for the lecture is to communicate information, to give the student a book instead. And the poor lectures, they cover the field and speak rapidly. They don't stop. They read from the notes. They talk to the board normally. They never entertain questions. They try to impress students, and they leave no time for summary. They don't ask. They don't give any time for any questionnaire. So some of the ideas are taken from, this is the Diagnostic of Teaching Excellence, Indian Journal of Technical Education. KPP Pillai has given beautiful description, based on which I have taken some of the information. Then you get a teacher, there's the guidelines, and accordingly the teacher familiarity, the speaking quality, and making eye contact, and encouraging questions, providing students with keynotes, sharing learning outcomes, and sharing course outcomes, and sharing knowledges. All these things, how best we can able to do. We can see the bottom line links also. If you are really interested, very good material available from online resources, so that you can learn by yourself as well, right? So I have learned by myself, actually. In that sense only I'm talking. So knowledge alone in those being taught is not enough. So we have to give direction, we have to give projection, we have to maintain rapport. And contemporary teaching methodologies where interactive learning is very much important, where active learning is the need of the hour, and the teaching methodologies where teacher chooses to use should be in accordance with the teaching objectives as given by the university, as given by national education policy. So set your teaching objectives, set your methodologies, and then set your objectives, and then accordingly you can evaluate your outcomes, whatever has been done in the semester or maybe in a year of 2 semesters. So what are the basics required for a teacher? What is the student level with whom you are teaching? What are the reference material available for you? What is the lecture material for delivery? How you are interacting? What are the technological advancements are there? What are the teaching resources available? And how do you evaluate yourself? These are all the things on a daily basis every teacher should be in a position to evaluate. So you have to face the students daily. So don't read from the notes. You'll get, you have identified will be as a copy master maybe. So don't dictate notes as well. So prepare well for the lectures. Always prepare one class in advance, at least one class in advance in a given week. Hence, you'll be comfortable with your material. So leave sufficient time for interaction. Prepare class notes in the form of bullet points. Prepare PPTs, transparencies wherever is available. Make presentation in the logical order. Maintain decent attitude. So understand the overall level of the students and common denominator, and then make class interactive. Always be available to the students. Maintain electronic communication as far as possible. That's what we are doing over the period of last 1 year or so. So use single textbook for most of the syllabus, and use repeated textbooks, not substandard textbooks. Give references from which you are preparing notes and lectures. Be honest with the students. Honesty is very important. If you don't know something, accept it, learn it, and tell it in the next class. You'll get a lot of respect from the students. In my early days, I got that. So if possible, maintain your website and give reference to all web sources. And as I said, ocw.ma.edu. So please go through, and NPTEL, everybody knows it. I think most of you got certificates as well. So lecture delivery, use simple language, and then sometimes mother tongue, wherever is feasible, nothing wrong. And if possible, arrange industry visits and use simple practical examples, and ensure whether message is received or not, and ensure that whether the names, student names, if we call by names, they will be happy. Ensure about seating plan for easy talking and attendance, remembering the persons. And extracurricular activities you can plan, and then you can make use of it. And add some cartoons, jokes, at least to lighten the temperature, I mean to lighten the atmosphere, because continuous of 30 minutes, 40 minutes, after that they require some kind of attention, diversion maybe. So the examples will help, and counsel the students whenever they require. So use technology for presentations, graphics, animations, and then movies, short movies, etc. like this. So please read it. Hope at least some people got laugh, right? So normally look at so here the figure I'm showing you here how it is been explained for the business consultant, and then how it has been done. Actually they require a bridge, but the moment you start explaining, different stages will be there, and then your vocabulary and your thought process, and then your grammatical usage, and then your sentences, all those things should be in a position to communicate effectively to the student appropriately. So that kind of care has to be taken. So we have to use mentor system, which is mandatory, and physical models whenever is required, YouTube videos to complement your teaching, and then computer simulations wherever is required, charts wherever is required, and for mechanical people, microelectronic missions, and then where pressure sensors, how it is being used, and these kind of diagrams and these kind of things certainly will be very useful. This is the course file things also. You have to plan it, and you have to show it to the students in the classroom, and you have to have evaluation process for group activities using rubrics, and what kind of rubric you put and what kind of evaluation you do, and then every student should know it. And good teachers always allow to interrupt during their lectures, asking questions, and make time available after some hours, and maybe just to repeat the work, and then willing to help, and then accordingly can able to do about understanding. And about a good teacher, not only positive developing, and they'll be influenced with positive things, and they will understand the needs of the student, the students in front of many, and accordingly they will appreciate students in front of many, and then if there's something out there, they will call to their room, and then accordingly they talk very politely, even though they do mistakes. So this kind of characteristics one should learn by reading those kind of Macmillan and the authors, whatever I have shown, and Kreber, and all these textbooks, some of the things I have shown to you. So in a summary, as time, if even though the 10 minutes lost, but still it's a 4 o'clock, I wish to answer more questions. So summing up, be enthusiastic about your teaching, be interested, well-being of your students, prepare well for your teaching, and teach knowledge in the context of solving authentic engineering problems. That's what I said, assignment example. Always think about and work on the improvement of your teaching and your students' learning. So